Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Right now I am standing just outside of a little town in British Columbia, Canada called Radium Hot Springs. Beautiful town. It's kind of the gateway, one of the main gateways into the Canadian national parks. And just yesterday I crossed the border into Canada. Now I'm aware that a lot of you have the idea that you're not sure you can cross the border into Canada in 2025. This is May, late May, almost, well, tomorrow's June, June of 2025. You're thinking that because of the border disputes and the tariff disputes, that maybe I can't get safely into Canada, maybe there'll be a problem. And I'm shooting this video to assure you there is absolutely no problem passing into Canada. In fact, I've crossed that border into and out of Canada 20 times, a minimum of 20 times in my life. I lived in Alaska for 40 years. I moved to Alaska in 1961. Well, my family did, and I went with them, of course. And I retired and left Alaska in 2006. So I lived there a long time. And I have driven the Alcan, either one way or the other, at least 10 times. And so that's 20 crossings into and out of Canada. And so I've done it a lot, and it has always been no issue. In fact, this time I thought it would be worse, maybe more intense questioning. All there ever is questions. I've never had them look inside my vehicle. It's easy to cross the Canadian border. And I thought maybe it would be worse now because of the border disputes, the tariff disputes in summer of 2025. Absolutely not. In fact, this was by far the easiest, most pleasant crossing I've ever done. I don't know why. The guy, he asked me virtually no questions. They always ask certain questions. He didn't ask any of these questions. You'll give them your passport. You have to have a passport. You know, you don't go through without a passport. Nothing else but a passport will do. So where are you going and how long will you be in Canada? Those are questions they'll ask. And so I just say, I'm going to Alaska. I'll be in Canada a week, maybe 10 days, just sightseeing along the way. And he'll say, and he said in this case, he said, well, you're not going to buy anything. You're not going to sell anything. You're not going to carry anything through. Those are the big things they want to know. And so I said, no, I'm just driving through whatever I need to have to buy and sell to live on my way through. That's all I'll do, nothing else. And of course, these are all just standard answers, and he knows them. You're traveling to Alaska. Americans do it all the time. So then he'll ask, and he did again this time, is do you have any weapons? Canada's big on weapons. And I said, no, I wasn't carrying any at all. I am carrying bear spray, and I volunteered that. And if not, they will probably ask, do you have any bear spray? And pretty commonly, they will ask, does it actually have a picture of a bear on it? Because they don't want you to carry mace. You know, bear spray is just capsaicin, a spray. And if it says bears on it, it's perfectly legal. It's expected and normal. But if it's for self-defense against a human, it's illegal, and they'll take it from you. It's really weird. So just carry bear spray. And what I've taken to doing is carrying it right up front, and I'll show it to him. I'll just I'll get the can up and say, here, see, there's the bear. It's bear spray. He says, fine, that's perfectly normal. Nothing, they don't think anything of it. And one other question that I've been asked routinely is, do you have over $10,000 Canadian on you? And of course, I don't have any Canadian money on me. And I just say, no, I don't have any Canadian money. It's all American. Just my credit card, really. And so, you know, it's just these kind of standard, routine, rote questions that you're going to get at a border crossing. So no big deal. And this guy didn't ask any of those. I couldn't believe it. He asked me where I was going. I said, I'm going home to Alaska. I said, I have a son living there, and I go up most summers just to visit with him. You know, it was just all stuff that's completely routine and normal. He's seen it a million times before. And so he didn't ask me any more questions. I almost wonder if, because of the border dispute and they want Americans to come into Canada and spend their money, American money is worth more than Canadian money, that they wanted to make it as easy as possible. And so it was a very pleasant experience. And my thinking is maybe that will be your experience too. At any rate, crossing the border into Canada in summer of 2025 is super easy. Nothing to it. I had no problems. And if you're not breaking the laws and you just always tell the truth, you break a law to lie to them, well, you could be in a world of hurt. I'm not condoning that in any way, shape, or form. Don't take any risks. I didn't take any risk whatsoever. I don't want to be caught there and end up in a Canadian jail. Canadians are the nicest people in the whole world, but I don't want to be in a Canadian jail under any conditions. So I'm telling the truth. I'm honest and I'm lying. Don't carry weapons. And he pointed out to me that you can carry a weapon. We were talking about the bear spray. You can carry a long gun into Canada. There's a form you fill out, and I've done it. My last trip out in 2006, I drove out and took all my possessions and when I moved to the lower 48, and I was towing a trailer with all my possessions in it in a pickup. And I carried my gun through because I had a shotgun in Alaska for self-defense. I didn't carry a handgun. I had handguns, but I just sold them. And I bought new ones in the lower 48. So, and there's a form on the Canadian website. Just look up, how do I carry a gun through Canada? And you'll take you to the website and show you the form. You fill out the form, print it out, take it in, give it to the officer, and he'll look at it, and that's it. And you don't even have to do it. If you've got the gun, and he'll just say, well, come on in, park, come on inside. And I had the form, and it was late at night, and it was really cold, and they didn't want to be outside. It was 10 below when I went through the last time in 2006. And we went inside, and he read the form and looked at it. I said, yeah, this is all great. Have a good trip. That was it. You can carry a long gun into Canada. You just have to fill out this form and jump through the hoops. That's all. It's no big deal. I think it costs $20. Getting into Canada is no big deal. None whatsoever. Now, this time, I did want to end up with a handgun in Canada. I didn't take a long gun. But I stopped in a gun shop in Kalispell, Montana. I drove up through and I'll do a video just on how to drive the different routes to Alaska, and the pluses and minuses of all of them through the United States and into Canada. But I went through Montana, and I stopped at a little gun shop in Kalispell, and I gave the guy, and their FFLs, that stands for Federal Firearms License. A FFL dealer, and you have to be an FFL to have a gun shop, sell guns, can send a gun from one FFL to another. So and he does this all the time. He said it happens there all the time. Kalispell is the last kind of large city before you get into Canada. And so I gave him the gun. He boxed it up. He shipped it to an FFL, a gun dealer in Alaska, and then it'll be there waiting for me. And it cost $60 to send it from there, and it will probably be a fee to pick it up in Alaska, probably another 20, so it costs $80, and you can get a handgun into Alaska that way. And so that worked really, really well. I do want to have a gun in Alaska. Because the bears really are an issue, and bear spray is good, and I carry bear spray, and I'll have both with me, but I think gun is better, and so I will have a gun in Alaska. Okay, so crossing the border is no big deal. So the reason I'm driving to Alaska in 2025 is I am going to Vanstock, Alaska. That's a big van gathering event. It's 3 or 4 days, I forget, in the middle of July. I don't know all the details. I'm not going to bore you with them now. Just go to their website, Vanstock, Alaska, and do a Google search on that, and you'll find it. And I think maybe you want to go. Vanstock, Alaska is going to be a great time. The organizer of the event, Lindra, good friend of mine. I adore her, and so I'm supporting her and encourage all of you to go. If you've thought about, I want to go to Alaska, this is the perfect time. And on her website for Vanstock, Alaska, just Google it. She has a page where people can connect and caravan up together. And caravanning together makes you a little bit less afraid. Some people are afraid to drive to Alaska. It is no big deal. Having done it 10 times, I can assure you, driving to and from Alaska is no big deal. Now, the first time I did it in 1973, it really was a pretty big deal. And I've done it in December at 20 below, and that's something to think about too. But going up there now in 2025 or later, the road's mostly paved. They've straightened it out. They've made it better. It's just a nice, wonderful drive. I really encourage everyone to go and do it. All the reasons you hear about not driving to Alaska, most of them are just silly. They're just silliness. Don't worry about it. Great drive, great time to visit. And so I would hope to see you at Vanstock, Alaska. So I'm on my way to Alaska. I'm going to do a vlog on it. I hope you'll follow along on the vlog. So today, all I want you to know is the border is open. Crossing it is no harder than it ever has been. In fact, for me, it was the easiest crossing I've ever had. And so don't let that stop you from getting to Alaska this summer and going to Vanstock in Alaska this summer. If you have any inclination to go, if you can put together a group and travel together or go alone or however you want to go, I would encourage you to make this the year that you drive to Alaska. Get up there for Vanstock and I will be there. I will meet you. I will say hi. We maybe can hang out a bit. And that would just be a great thing for all of us. So I hope to see you in Alaska in July of 2025. Hope you got something out of this video. If you did, then like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and I'll talk to you later. Bye now.